coalition of 200 civil society organizations has commended the Nigerian Armed Forces for what it describes as significant progress in the fight against terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other security threats across the country. The commendation is contained in the coalition's latest quarterly independent report released under the umbrella of the Civil Society Organizations on Peace and Security. According to the report, the armed forces have recorded major operational successes through improved intelligence gathering, enhanced coordination among the Army, Navy, Air Force, and other security agencies, as well as sustained joint military operations. Military operations have become more synchronized, leading to the disruption of terrorist networks, the dismantling of bandit strongholds in the Northwest, and improved security in several parts of the country. It also notes that operations in the Northeast have enabled displaced persons to begin returning to their communities, while intensified operations in the South-South have helped reduce oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and maritime crimes.
Consequently, the performance of the armed forces under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff should be evaluated not only through military accomplishments, but also through the broader societal effect of security interventions. Communities that were subjected to perpetual fear of terrorist mayhem, bandit attacks, criminal intimidation are now experiencing varying degrees of civilization due to the sustained military deployments. For example, in several areas of the Northeast, the operations carried out by the armed forces against insurgents have contributed to the restoration of commercial activities, reopening of transportation routes, the gradual return of displaced people to their communities. Similarly, it was observed that anti-banditry operations across parts of the Northwest have disrupted criminal hideouts and reduced the freedom armed groups which they previously enjoyed during operations. 2. Economic implications of improved security. Security and economic development remain inseparably linked. No nation can attract substantial investment, expand industrial production, stimulate terrorism, improve agricultural productivity, or generate sustainable employment under conditions of pervasive insecurity. One of the most important consequences of military operations is therefore their indirect contribution to economic recovery and stability. In regions where military operations have reduced criminal activity, local economic activities have demonstrated resilience and gradual recovery. Farmers who had previously abandoned agricultural land due to insecurity have in some areas resumed cultivation. Commercial transportation networks have improved in certain corridors. Markets that were previously attacked repeatedly now experience increased activity. Although substantial challenges remain, the security sector's contribution to economic civilization deserves recognition. Humanitarian consequences. The humanitarian dimension of Nigerian security crisis remains profound. Millions of Nigerians can write a full book experience on displacement, destruction of valuable properties, loss of livelihoods, and psychological trauma they develop through conflict and violence from terrorism. The recent incident of Yelwata massacre that happened in Benue State, creating a national and international uproar, is evident to the devastating human consequences of insecurity. Fortunately, prosecutors were later able to charge multiple suspects in connection with the attack, although few incidents occur in insignificant numbers. Military operations have undoubtedly been able to prevent additional humanitarian catastrophe in human locations. However, experience has taught us that military intervention alone cannot resolve displacement permanently. Therefore, long-term stabilization requires a comprehensive plan of incorporating, restructuring, reconstruction of the damaged communities, rehabilitation of victims, educational opportunities, and economic recovery programs. With this, security gains will become sustainable only when accompanied by development gains. Civil society perspectives. Civil society organizations generally acknowledged the necessity and impact of military operations, while they simultaneously advocate transparency, accountability, and ensuring that civilians are well protected. With the immense pressure military commanders faces, at the same time, civil society organizations continue to encourage stronger interaction between security institutions and local communities. Challenges confronting the armed forces. We, the coalition of civil society organizations, observe that despite important achievements that were recorded between 2024 to 2026, some significant challenges still exist. They affect optimal security outcomes, and the challenges can be categorized under the followings. 1, geographic complexity. Nigeria's large geographical landscape, by default, present major operational difficulties. Military forces must simultaneously monitor forests, deserts, mountains, waterways, urban centers, rural resettlement, and extensive border regions. This geographic diversity complicates surveillance, logistics, force development, and operational coordination. 2, porous borders. Nigeria shares extensive borders with multiple neighboring countries. These borders are mostly used to facilitate terrorist movement, smuggling, arms trafficking, human trafficking, and criminal infiltration against its legal designated use. The transnational nature of contemporary security threats means the purely domestic responses are often insufficient. Encouraging regional cooperation highly remains indispensable. 3, resource constraints. Big financial investment is needed for military operations. This big funding is expected to cover equipment procurement, personnel warfare, maintenance, modern intelligence infrastructure, logistic training, improved surveillance technologies, and modernization programs. Although government investment has increased in various areas, resource limitations continue to affect operational capacity. While these initiatives have not eliminated security fully, we observe they have contributed to strengthen the institutional capacity of the armed forces to confront evolving threats.